my point is he's very much like takes pride in that. When he meets people from like your guys' similar background, that it's like a special bond. So is that like kind of why like someone approached you about that for the podcast? It was like a culture thing, and like because Sarah talks about it all the time about like women in weed. You know what I mean? Or it's like different issues you guys might like deal with that we don't know about it. But even in like you said it was like a male dominated space.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I'm always curious to hear from because I'm just like a dorky white dude who's been selling weed a long time, which this industry I think is filled with dorky white dudes who've been selling weed a long time.
All love to the dorky white dudes because y'all were the ones who came through when I needed it most. You know what I mean? Like in high school and like. I mean, not to incriminate myself, but like, you know what I mean?
All we got to say is allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah, exactly. That's the term of the pod.
Of the pod is allegedly. That's a good word to keep in the pocket.
Yes.
So, yeah, like, it was always y'all who were like my, like...
The plug?
Yeah, the plugs. Exactly.
Always love that.
And they're the homies. They were literally the nicest people ever. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, like... check this shit out, and they're so like friendly and excited to tell you about like all the new buds.
That's what I think is cool about the weed industry is that like it just like all that shit doesn't matter. Like whatever color, whatever way you talk, whatever way you dress, like it's all like that's what's cool about being here. Like we're all just kind of like clowning on each other. Like I was like saying I ate that chopped cheese across the street at Galaxy. Yeah. And I thought
you are a chopped cheese.
Yeah. I thought I spilled on me, but it was just sweat. It was just chopped cheese coming out of my pores. So I would say, but dude, that bacon, egg, and cheese from Galaxy, from Reference You, from you right across the street.
It's fab, right?
I'm trying to think of what to give it.
Ooh, okay.
Because I don't do it on the review. I don't give like a score.
You don't give scores.
But I think on the podcast, I just it feels weird, But on the podcast, she was telling me maybe I should just try to judge it so we have something.
Something to go off of, something to compare and contrast from building progress. You know what I mean? What do you give it?
An 8.2.
8.2.
And I would give it an 8.4 if it wasn't a scrambled egg. I'm just biased.
What would you rather have it?
A fried egg. Do you know the difference? You're a New York. It's a New York thing.
Okay.
Like the scrambled egg and cheese, right? It's all whipped and it's like.
I'm not gonna claim that I'm like from New York. You know what I mean? Like. So
well, I wanted to talk to you about that too. I'm happy you brought that up. Okay. We can be professional podcasters and bridge into a conversation. This podcast is brought to you by The Bakery in Cohoes, New York. This is one of my favorite dispensaries in New York. They have the best menu. We're proud to be on it. The best staff. Mike has become like a mentor to us out in New York, especially when it comes to upstate. Be on the lookout for podcasts and more collaborations that we're going to be doing together. The Bakery, upstate New York, in the Albany Capital District in Cohoes, man, that's the spot. Right down the street from Latham Bagel. Shout out you guys. Also a podcast sponsor of ours. It's on Loudon Ave in the upstate Capital District of New York. Breakfast Connections Dutch Master hats are available now on breakfastconnections.co. These things are dope, paying homage to our original Connecticut roots. We're not able to put tobacco on the blunts, but the whole reason we even did the blunts in the New York market was that we found this cone that was able to like taste the weed and have that good experience that we remember with the Dutch Masters. So that's why we're kind of paying homage with the Dutch Masters hats. We're in tons of dispensaries from in the Adirondacks out to Utica, Capital District down to the Bronx, and Misha's Flower Shop in Brooklyn. We're going to be expanding into the city a little bit more. We also have Living Soil grown indoor flower that's going to be under $40, I'm pretty sure. That's a steal. Some of the best weed in the New York market. I feel confident in saying that. Around $40, that's pretty good. Look out for those bags, Breakfast Connections 8th bags, Breakfast Connections blunts. We still got some of those more affordable 8ths of the outdoors from last season, but we wanted to ramp it up with some more Living Soil indoor grown flower. I think that's it. Back to the show. So we have similar roots in the Bay Area. That's where you grew up, right?
Yeah, that's amazing. Where in the Bay?
I lived in Berkeley and Oakland in San Francisco from 2009 to 2014, and it was just places that I could afford.
Okay. Oh,
so I started in Berkeley.
You're not, like, okay.
I'm not from there.
Yeah.
But I like dropped out of high school and started trimming and selling weed out there in that time.
Hey, that's
I got
nice.
like literally in the weed industry.
Through California.
Yeah, the Bay Area specifically.
That's iconic. And
I think so.
That's beautiful because I think California is like one of the first states to legalize, right? Something
medical,
like that?
yeah. It was,
Okay, medical, yeah.
I forget like the name of the prop, which we all kind of should know, but it was around like
CARES
98.
Act?
Yes.
Ooh.
Pretty sure. Good job. Ladies in the weed industry. Smarter than us dumb, dorky white men.
Represent.
Yeah.
All right.
Where did you grow up out there?
So I grew up in the Bay, like in the Bay Area near Hayward, which is like the heart of the Bay.
Mm-hmm. That's where the dude from Jaunty said he grew up from too.
Oh,
I don't know if you know him. I wish I could remember his name right now, but I can't.
Yeah.
He didn't want his name
Mike?
shouted out anyway.
I don't know.
It might be Mike. We're all Mikes.
Everybody's Mike. Mike, Misha,
Yeah.
Michael, all of them.
But Hayward, that's kind of like up northern a little bit past like.
Yeah, like
near like Richmond.
Like here's California. Here's San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like right across the Bay Bridge, so I'm a little more inland.
Okay.
And my local dispensary was the Cookies.
The cookie spot in Hayward. There was a cookie store in Hayward.
There was a cookie store in Hayward. And
What
there
year?
Still is. No, there still is.
But what year was it?
That I was going.
Yeah.
Like 2020.
2020. Okay.
Yeah, but I was, like, I had my plug before then. Before I realized I could like legally go somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a great time. Once I realized, once I turned 21, basically, I was like, oh my God, like, the weed store became my candy store.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
And
dude.
before that, you would go get herb
from
allegedly.
Allegedly, I would get it from the white nerdy guy.
The white dorky dudes, yeah.
Shout out him. Good memes. So, and then I fell in love with walking into dispensaries.
So not just weed, because you already liked weed before that.
Right. I mean, but that's the main source of my passion and love, right?
Is the atmosphere of it.
Is
not
the
just the
cannabis
plant
itself. No, it's like the plant. It's like the plant itself. It's everything it stands for. It's how it makes me feel. Mm-hmm. And I think I could talk about this forever.
Yeah. No, trust me. That's what we do.
That's what we do. That's
our whole
point.
life. Yeah.
Here we are. You just put a camera in front. It's the same thing, basically.
Yeah, we try. We just do it while we're slamming down bacon, egg, and cheeses and talking to the people in our world.
Hey, people.
That's the whole idea of this thing, though, is I think that a lot of customers were live in Misha's, not live, but whatever, recording live, I guess. I don't know, in Misha's flower
Here
shop
we are, live
in Brooklyn.
In Misha's flower shop.
Yeah.
Brooklyn, New York. Reporting live.
Dude, I feel like you could be a reporter. You have the energy. That was good. People got to get you on more pods.
I have been told.
Misha's flower shop pod?
I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be like that girl.
What do you mean?
I don't want to be that girl that's like, oh my God, yeah,
No, be that girl.
I've been told.
It's better if you're more authentic, that's your energy.
And that's me, and I should just
lean into it.
Yeah, lean into it. So the point is that I've been meant to be in front of the camera. I feel, and people have been telling me this. And so here we are.
That's good.
You
Well,
know what I mean?
I think you were just at Spannabis, right?
Oh my gosh, yes. Thank you for bringing that up.
Because we saw on the Instagram.
You saw that on the gram.
Mm-hmm.
I had to post. I'm actually planning a 4-part series post.
From what you did?
From what I did and
Cool.
what I did. Yeah, exactly. What I did in Barcelona and also Spannabis in general.
Mm-hmm.
The coolest thing ever. If you can go.
It's my dream.
Isn't it the best?
My dream.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
And
she talks about it all the time.
you mentioned this earlier just briefly about women in cannabis or me being a brown person in cannabis. Going to Spain for cannabis is one of the most validating things I've ever experienced in my life.
Tell me more.
Because I met people from around the world who felt the exact same way that I feel about this plant. And I feel like I'm a cannabis activist.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm an activist but a cannabis connoisseur. Like it's for
Yeah.
me, this is one and the same.
I think it's kind of authentic. Like we say this all the time. Like it's funny. I do these shows and going around, but I'm just myself. That's why it's nice talking to you. And I was like, dude, you're gonna be fine on the podcast because you're just yourself, and it's gonna be nice to talk to you anyways. Yeah. And I think that's something to with weed, with the evolution of us being able to sell weed legally out of these shops. Yeah. We take that for granted sometimes. And I think this podcast is going to be really good for like these end consumers in the stores that they get to like look behind the scenes of like people in the culture. And I think a lot of these people want to be in the culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yes. And like they're almost like trying to like sneak their way in.
See what's up.
Right.
And
sometimes I think it's similar to what you said about how like you don't want to be that girl, but like I think she knows too, because like this is our whole thing where you could be whoever you want to be, because you're not bullshitting. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think.
No, I hear you.
I mean, you see vendors and shit all the time come in, right? So I think it's funny. We've been doing pretty well, and like our product does really well here too.
Yeah.
And I think just because it's simple and it's who we are. Yeah. You know, even coming in and talking to you guys, and you could just smell the opposite.
It feels very grassroots.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
Yes, intended. Nice.
Yeah, and yes, I totally feel that. Like it's the authenticity, especially when like we get like vendors, brands that pop up all the time, right? And the ones that do well, the ones that get the most reach, are the ones that are very authentic and like have a genuine passion and willingness to connect with others. You know, because I've seen, not to like bash anybody, and I'm not gonna say.
This comes up every podcast, so don't worry.
Right? Like,
the amount of times we can be like, not trying to bash anyone, but.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, you know, it's just like you can tell when there's inauthentic energy because, like, you know, people will stand behind a table looking at their phone. They don't even know. They're not even stoners. Like, they're not even stoners. Yeah. And there's people entering the industry because there's money to be made in this industry because it's like up and coming industry.
And it's new.
It's new, exactly. And this is like an undeniable fact that like the cannabis industry is booming.
Yes.
We've seen it in other states.
And we're like,
gonna happen in
and
this
it's
state.
still like not too many industries are booming. And why are the two businesses that are booming the most is gambling and weed? You know, that's a whole nother topic. But like that's kind of the thing where like outsiders come in. You know, and they just want to try to make money off it. And that's a funny comparison, too, with gambling, because it is similar in that way. It's like newly legal, kind of not. Both of them are still federally illegal. Right. You know, so that could be a big reason why, like, it's profitable state to state, because it's like there's certain loopholes, certain rules, certain demographics of consumers in the area for gambling or weed.
But gambling is like, it's been wasn't there prohibition on that or something
No,
like that?
it's still federally illegal.
So this has always been like
It's a very similar thing to weed.
What do you
gambling.
mean? But there's like Vegas. You know what I mean?
The state. There's always think about what we said about California. It's technically it was legal in '98. That's a long time ago.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the thing. That there's a act in '98. I forget the name. I can get Lucas to put it up right here. That'd be super cool. That was the first. Like it was certain people in San Francisco. I think it was a lot of people in like the gay movement and out in like Haight Street, and there was people with AIDS, and they were just like trying to give out free weed that was like helping their friends that were dying, and it was just simple as that. So what's interesting about gambling comparison with weed is like they try to make it seem like gambling and weed are like not really that bad. You know what I mean in the scheme of things, but like. That doesn't have an origin story like what I just said about weed. So it's so different. And like I think we sniff that shit out with people who come into the weed industry and try to like make a dollar.
I see.
You know what I'm saying?
It's very obvious because
with gambling, it's like people could do that all day.
Right.
I don't gamble. I hate gambling, but like I bet you I can make shit tons of money off it because I'm good at sales.
Quite easy.
But
and it's something that stimulates like the overall economy, right? Yeah, and that's kind of maybe why it's like subtly encouraged. And federally, it's not encouraged because that's like, oh, it's bad. Like, don't do it.
Who the fuck knows? Dude, the people in power are like 90 years old. So like they don't know anything.
Bullshit. They're all bullshit. But again, like that's like going on beyond like, you know.
So
I think cannabis is a political thing.
Yeah.
I just feel.
What do you mean?
I think that like to understand what the plant is, to understand like where its roots come from, which is like
You're doing good with the puns, dude.
international. Huh?
Your puns are fucking killing it.
Puns?
Yeah, dude, roots. She didn't even catch that one. That was so good.
So good. I'm just like it's off the dome.
Yeah,
you know
dude,
what I mean?
it's just real.
It's raw and real. Yeah. Yeah, I think you know. I'm like literally a nerd for this as well. Like I'm a nerd about cannabis education and like learning everything about it, and it's kind of like the more you learn, the more you find out, and the more questions you have in terms of like what is it called, like the war on drugs. And this one guy who's like the asshole guy of all.
The Rockefeller, it's the guy who did the printing press, who like banned hemp. Did you know about that?
No.
So it's like basically all about paper. They made weed federally illegal because hemp was gonna like destroy the paper industry.
Yeah, and it's the same with like I made this kind of connection on my own, but like the cotton industry as well, because hemp is such a strong fiber. They used to make like Americans used to make all their clothes and all the soldiers' shoes out of.
It's like a magic plant, dude.
It's a magic plant.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. It's like there's so many uses from it.
Yeah.
It, from medicinal to spiritual to physical, and in many cultures, like in my culture, for example, like I come from a Hindu family, right? And in Hinduism, like there is lots of references to bhang or like ganja and cannabis, you know what I mean? And it's like, there's literally, we have a god, like Shiva, who, like, you offer cannabis to him as an offering. Yeah.
That's cool.
It's so for real.
Yeah, that's awesome. Remember, I'm a dorky white dude. I don't know. I grew up dropping out of high school and just like selling weed because I got in trouble. You know
Anything
what I mean?
weed related is like, tell me more.
It's so cool that you're talking about like deep roots of culture of a plant that's been around for like who the fuck knows, like forever, like before us. And you know, someone like me who was younger and like had my own issues growing up, and like I don't know why I started selling weed. We talked to a lot of people who on this podcast about because a lot of us are facilitators, right? Like you saw this thing and you like jumped into it and you like wanted to be a part of it, not just like buying weed and smoking it, right? You just wanted more, right?
Yeah.
So like we talk a lot of to people about like when you first bought weed, it's almost like you wanted to buy more and you wanted to sell it to your friends. You just kind of wanted to get deeper into it.
Talk about it, yeah.
It's like we're all kind of like searching for something. A lot of us that are like getting deeper into the industry, we're like searching for something.
Great.
You know?
Do you know?
Nice, dude. Whew. She hit me deep there. Hit me
Oh,
deep
I'm
right there.
sorry.
You hit me
that.
deep right there, Shrek. Shrek, shout out.
Shrek, shout out.
Yeah, I haven't done that yet on this podcast. I always wanted to.
Shout out Shrek.
That's a nice looking boulder. That's a nice boulder. There's my last one. You're serious question.
I love
You're at it's a great movie. Shrek 2,
Shrek
pretty good as
5
well.
is coming.
Yeah, there's a new one coming out.
There's 5 Shreks.
This summer there's a new Shrek coming out.
I knew there was a Puss in Boots.
Zendaya, Zendaya
child,
is the
yeah.
kid now.
She's the oldest kid in there.
Zendaya Shrek.
They're really trying to like make beautiful women like ugly through ogres in Shrek somehow. Doesn't work. You know what I mean? It's like what they did with Zoe Deschanel and New Girl. They're like, how do we make like a normal girl? And she's like a total babe.
That's so kind
Just
of
Hollywood.
me to say. I'm sure she'd really appreciate that.
Let me know. Well, moving on. Serious question you asked me,
Yes.
and I tried. That's how I deflected.
Yeah.
I clearly have anxiety issues.
No, it's all good.
I really don't know, to be honest, to answer that question. I would say I grew up not knowing my purpose, and then I think
Relatable.
through selling weed, you learn that weed brings a lot of different people together, no matter what.
Yes.
And even before that, when I was a kid, it seemed like a lot of like different people from different backgrounds would come hang out at my house, or like I would almost be a binder.
Still gotta
Nature's
do my
Flower
job.
Shop rules. And yeah, no, you're good. You're good, dude. And I think that like I just learned as I got older and went through life and ups and downs that weed was my calling because it was just like me. It's just like the chopped cheese, dude. I am weed and weed is me.
You smoke what you are.
Yeah. Huh?
You consume what you are. Like
Interesting.
It's like you are what you consume.
I kind of think that. Whoa.
No, it's a real thing.
Dude, you hit me live on this
You
one.
are the chopped cheese and you are the cannabis all is one. And that
Yeah.
here you are.
Well, it's kind of like.
And yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Hey, you got me
Wow,
there.
that's like very roundabout. And I will say, I will add to what you're saying. I feel so strongly about this that cannabis cultivates community and connection and creativity. All the C's.
And you said cultivate again.
Yes, but
That
that
was
one
good.
was on purpose for
Okay,
surely.
cool.
Yeah, I thought about
I was gonna say this
one.
girl's too
one-
smart for this podcast.
No,
This
that
podcast
could
is
be
for
true. That could
dummies.
be true. Yeah. Oh.
No, I'm just kidding, dude. I love all you people.
I
We're all
love
very
teeter.
smart people.
No, we teeter.
We
Here's
teeter.
smart. Here's dumb. We're right there. You know what I mean?
Here's Sarah.
And then there's Sarah. She's an
Had to,
angel.
dude. I had to.
She's too good for this world.
But tell me more about that, like your journey with it.
Yeah.
Because that clearly came from something I think that you are like walking the path of for yourself. Because we are similar in this cannabis space, and that is why we did this podcast. I think a lot of these people buying eighths and joints want to like be a part of it, but like sometimes they're like, I don't want to be that girl or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where like
They
sometimes
don't
I
want
think.
to be embarrassing.
But it goes for everyone. Like even with you asking me a real question, it's almost like deflection. It's like I don't know. Sometimes it's probably trauma, like with all of us.
Probably trauma.
You know, but that's what's cool
This
about
is
herb
true.
too is that like I think it like automatically eases a lot of these tensions
It
and
drops the barriers of external forces that like try to like tell us otherwise than our own truth. That's what I feel. Yeah. I've thought about
You're
this
pretty
shit,
wise, dude.
No, thank you.
yeah, clearly.
I like to write
Yeah.
and like think. And cannabis helps do that, you
Yeah.
know?
Should see what I do, dude. I had her. Yeah. So I have like a crazy creative process with a lot of these things that I build. Is that
You look embarrassed.
I don't know, like I drink a lot of coffee, I smoke a lot of blunts, I get like different tobacco from Connecticut and shit, and that's like how I roll. That's like the blunts that I do.
How you roll, period.
And then I like have like a notepad and I'll just like fucking freestyle on the notepad.
Okay.
And she like helps with us now. She's like the first.
Yo.
You're not my assistant. She's my colleague and employee or whatever.
Employee.
No, employee number one.
Employee number
that's
one.
that. She's employee
She
number
gets
one. The stamp.
She gets a stamp.
Of course.
Yes.
But in doing so, she has to take that notebook sometimes and like figure it out. And we were like, because we have, and we'll show you guys this when it drops. We have Living Soil indoor eighths coming out soon.
Oh,
At very
living
affordable
soil indoor. Wow.
and very affordable prices
High-
from dudes up in
high
Syracuse.
quality.
And it's not going to be that much more than the outdoors we already do.
It's interesting. Yeah. I
So-
can't wait.
But while I was doing the descriptions and the bios and how I want to sell it and like,
Yeah.
and like she had to take that.
Oh, that's the best part. That is something I want to do for
Yeah.
sure. Is write the creative copies for like strains.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, that's so fun. How does purple panty droppers make you feel? Let me tell you.
I thought you were asking me that for a second. I was like, oh, Jesus.
No, it's like but you had to write this stuff.
Yeah,
right?
oh, yeah. Yep.
How purple panty droppers.
Yeah,
make
we
you
had
feel?
one that's orange push pop.
Ooh.
So that was like kind of that. If it's like you're like purple panty dropper, I'm like, yeah, orange push pop. It's like clearly where my mind goes. You know?
Probably have similar effects. I wouldn't
Definitely.
doubt that.
That's a Seinfeld episode too. We'll watch that one too. George just like combines sex and food into one thing, and he actually literally
yeah.
tries to like
Oh, this is
combine them
for
into
real.
his life,
Yeah,
and it
Seinfeld.
doesn't work out.
Seinfeld, Sex and Food. I didn't know this.
You didn't watch
about
Seinfeld?
Him. Well, I knew that he was the guy who voiced the Bee movie.
Oh, that's
and
so
I also
sick.
know that he's bald, and I know that he had his own show. And it was
You
in
did
the
a good
car,
job,
right?
you-
in the car. He had
You're backpedaling right now, and I love how you did on that. She did a good job.
my age is showing.
Yeah. Dude, the Bee movie rules.
Yo, it's the best.
I love all animated movies with like creatures and shit.
He's really
like
big
insects.
on, like, multimedia stuff.
Me too.
I'm a physical media guy.
Soul, the movie Soul.
Oh, I haven't watched that one. You haven't seen it either?
Haven't either of those.
Jamie Foxx?
Get
Pixar?
high.
I heard it's gonna make me cry.
Yeah. But it's
Well, it's
part
Pixar.
Of the
Pixar's gonna make me
experience.
cry.
It's part of the experience.
Yeah.
You need to cry sometimes in order to like stop deflecting shit and, you know, actually be able to acknowledge
She's like
it.
figuring me
Sorry,
out. No, she's figuring me out. You know, I've cried
your
like
sign?
I barely cried. Oh, Jesus.
He's
I'm gonna let her
Taurus.
answer those questions. I refer to employee number 1 on
sense.
any Sagittarius or whatever those fucking questions are.
But yeah,
Astrology. I don't know. Yeah.
It's a Taurus.
Yeah.
Sag, I heard.
Yeah.
I've cried once, I think, in the last 10 years, and it's a big problem of mine.
Actually, a conversation we've had.
Big problem.
Okay.
Big problem. And weed doesn't help.
No.
Come on, weed.
It doesn't?
Nope.
You just need like a strong indica, I think.
No.
To get you in your feels, right?
You're a good saleswoman.
That's-
Misha's
yeah,
flower
here I
shop
am.
can provide it. You need to cry.
You need to get
Do you need
over
a good
your
cry?
familial trauma.
That's
Come
how-
on by to Misha's flower shop.
Purple panty droppers.
Right here. That's awesome. Yep. So fucking cool. My favorite strain actually for a while was Midnight Orgy
Midnight Orgy.
from Rolling Green. Shout out Rolling Green.
Rolling Green is good.
Yo, they're really good.
Mm-hmm.
They make some crafted cannabis.
Well, they have a lot of phenotypes.
Ooh.
Like, you know what that means? Do you know what a phenotype is?
Kinda, like the chemical.
Nope.
Okay.
It's all right. I got you. I got you back
Smells?
here. You got my back on my emotions. I got your back on this stuff.
There we go.
That's how we'll trade off. It's so when you have like a bunch of, let's say I bred a strain, I had a male plant and a female plant, and the
Right.
pollen gets trapped by the pistils in the female plant, and it'll produce a bunch of seeds, and that's how they basically create new babies or new strains,
We're
right?
talking plant sex.
Yep, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And then all the babies and all those seeds, you're gonna run them all. And there's gonna be different strains and different names.
Run?
And that's run them. So like you put them in pots and
Okay.
you grow them.
You grow 'em.
So they're gonna take cuts of that, and that's how you have clones of it. That's how you have like a lot of the same
Okay.
strains. You
Yep.
take the cuttings, right? But when there's different phenotypes, it's different strains. The cool thing about Rolling Green is that they have so many. That's one thing, you know, as like a dispensary owner, they have a lot of selection, which is impressive.
Is it just because they're like growing that many different seeds, or they're crossing those?
They're growing that many different seeds
Oh wow,
from people who have already crossed them. But that's still very hard to do.
that is hard to do.
Because you're dealing with different, it's not like they have like 10 different grows. So you're like, usually what you want to do is you want to have one strain in one environment, because you're like, you mastered this environment. And it's like this, like what was the one that you really liked? The orgy something?
Midnight Orgy.
Midnight Orgy really likes like this amount of temperature, this amount of humidity, this amount of phosphorus
Yeah,
that they feed to it
yeah.
or whatever.
Midnight Orgy. Yeah.
Right, and then but if you put a bunch of different strains in it, you're kind of like playing a
Fucking
different
with
game,
that,
right? But
right.
like but you could do it, but you're taking a lot of risks. The cool thing about Rolling Green is they grow really good weed and they're willing to take the risks.
And it sounds
Man, they
like,
should pay me for that.
Yeah.
Put an ad on my
Spawn.
pod, Rolling Green.
Not spawn, but should be spawn.
Yeah.
Rolling Green.
Yeah.
That's awesome, because I also learned at one point that
Good job.
you got me, you got
Yeah.
it, you got it. Yeah, we're learning.
Yep.
I learned at one point that all of the farm owners, like cannabis farm owners here in New York, they're only allowed 1 acre of land to grow, something like that. Someone
Really?
might need to fact check me, but I believe that's the case. And so like, you know, like Hudson, for example, like these farms, they only get like 1 acre of land. So it's
Probably
like,
for the micro farm.
maybe.
Different licenses.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. But it's like, how do you grow that many strains in such small? You got to be a
You
scientist.
gotta either be
You gotta
lying
Caniso.
or really good at it, which some people do.
That's fair.
That's a whole
fair.
nother
That's a
thing.
good point. Marketing, yo, that is a whole other
You know,
conversation.
we've been talking about this a bunch too. Is like we're not from New York, which is really fun to come here and do this. It's really fun to come here and do this because as outsiders doing the like travel portion of it with the food and
Yeah.
different coffee and different bacon, egg, and cheeses around the dispensaries we're in, it's like we've been able to ask a lot of questions and be honest. And we're like, we're not growing the weed, but we're buying it from these other places. And I could tell you about them. I could tell you the story.
Yeah.
And like that honesty and transparency has gone a long way for us. I think like that sales and marketing, like we said, you can kind of sniff it out on people.
Yeah.
It's not gonna. There's gonna be no legs in it. There's gonna be no longevity in that type of style of business. I think in this
kind of
industry.
like really heavily marketing to your target market, because I think that only goes a certain leg, like a
Yeah.
certain way, because yeah, exactly like you said, like it's like you know, you could be a brand that, you know, gets your cannabis from XYZ farm.
Yep.
But the core of the authentic energy comes from like the people who are starting the businesses, you know?
And who come from the story of it.
Yes.
Do you want to go take care of this? Do you want to take
Yeah,
do you want to take a pause and then go do that?
Yeah. Let's have
We'll take a quick pause.
5-minute,
Yeah. Because Misha's Flower Shop is booming.
We're popping,
Knickerbocker
bro. I gotta
Ave
do my
in
job.
Brooklyn. What's the exact address?
299 Knickerbocker Ave.
We'll be right back.
Yes.